Good morning, Sarah. Today we're going to start our discussion on foods that can increase proteinuria and harm your kidneys, focusing first on red meat. Are you familiar with what proteinuria is?
Hi, Dr. Mike. Yes, I know it involves protein spilling into urine because the kidneys aren't filtering properly, but I'm not sure how red meat fits into this.
Exactly, Sarah. Proteinuria can be a sign of kidney stress or damage. Red meat, like beef, pork, and lamb, is rich in protein and also in a compound called creatinine. Normally, your kidneys filter creatinine out of your blood and it's expelled in your urine. However, high amounts of dietary red meat can increase the levels of creatinine and other wastes that your kidneys need to filter, which can be taxing on them.
So does eating red meat directly cause kidney damage?
Not directly, but regularly consuming large amounts of red meat can increase the risk, especially in people who already have kidney issues or are at risk of developing them. The high protein content in red meat increases the workload on your kidneys because they have to work harder to filter out the large molecules found in animal proteins.
Does that mean everyone should avoid red meat?
Not necessarily. It's about moderation and balance. For someone with healthy kidneys, eating red meat in moderation isn't likely to cause proteinuria or kidney damage. However, for those with existing kidney problems or who are at high risk, reducing red meat intake can help manage proteinuria and reduce stress on the kidneys.
That makes sense. I guess it's all about knowing your own health status and what works best for your body.
Precisely. It's always a good idea to discuss your diet with your healthcare provider, especially if you have concerns about kidney health or proteinuria. They can help tailor dietary recommendations to your specific health needs. All right, moving on to the next point, processed meats. These are foods like sausages, bacon, ham, and cold cuts. Do you eat a lot of these, Sarah?
Yes, I often have them in sandwiches or for breakfast. Are they harmful too?
They can be, especially for kidney health. Processed meats are high in sodium and preservatives like nitrates. Sodium is a major factor in blood pressure control. High sodium intake can lead to increased blood pressure, which is a leading risk factor for kidney damage and can exacerbate proteinuria.
I knew they weren't the healthiest choice, but I didn't realize they could impact my kidneys.
Yes, and there's more to it. The preservatives used in these meats, like nitrates, can also be tough on your kidneys. They can cause harm by further stressing your kidneys as they try to filter out these substances from your blood.
What can I do then? Should I stop eating processed meats altogether?
It's about making healthier choices. Trying to limit processed meats as much as possible is a good start. You can replace them with healthier protein sources that are lower in sodium and chemicals. For example, choosing fresh or frozen lean meats, poultry, fish, or even plant-based proteins can be better for your overall kidney health.
That sounds doable. I'll definitely think about swapping out some bacon and sausages for healthier alternatives.
That's a great approach, Sarah. And when you do choose to eat processed meats, try to look for low-sodium options or brands that don't use nitrates. It's all about balance and making informed choices that support your health. Next on our list is dairy products. Dairy is a key source of protein and calcium, but it can also be a concern for people with kidney issues. How often do you consume dairy products, Sarah?
I have them quite often. Milk with breakfast, yogurt for snacks, and cheese in many dishes. Should I be worried?
It's good to be aware rather than worried. Dairy products, particularly high-protein ones like milk, cheese, and yogurt, can contribute to an increased filtration load on the kidneys. This means your kidneys have to work harder to process the proteins and other elements in dairy.
So is it the protein in dairy that's the problem?
Yes, in part. For individuals with existing kidney conditions or those at high risk, consuming large amounts of dairy protein can exacerbate kidney strain, potentially leading to worsening proteinuria. This doesn't mean you have to avoid dairy entirely, but moderation is key.
What about alternatives? Are plant-based options better in this case?
Plant-based alternatives can be a good option. For example, almond milk, soy milk, or oat milk generally have less protein than cow's milk, which can be easier on your kidneys. However, it's important to choose unsweetened varieties as many plant-based milks can have added sugars.
I see. I'll look into those alternatives. Are there any other considerations with dairy that I should know about?
Yes, besides protein, some dairy products can also be high in phosphorus and potassium, which are minerals your kidneys help manage. When kidney function is compromised, managing the levels of these minerals becomes more challenging, and high intakes can lead to health issues.
That makes sense. I guess it's all about choosing the right types of dairy and keeping an eye on how much I consume.
Exactly, Sarah. If you have concerns about your kidney health, it might be worthwhile to have a discussion with your healthcare provider. They can help you plan a diet that supports your kidneys while still allowing you to enjoy a variety of foods, including dairy. Moving on, let's discuss sugary foods. Consuming a lot of sugar can have serious implications for overall health, especially your kidneys. What's your intake like regarding sugary foods, Sarah?
I do have a sweet tooth. I enjoy desserts, sodas, and sweet snacks quite often.
That's common, but it's important to be mindful of how much sugar you're consuming. High sugar intake is a major contributor to diabetes, which is one of the leading causes of kidney disease. When your blood sugar levels are consistently high, it can lead to damage in the nephrons, the tiny structures in your kidneys that filter your blood.
How exactly does sugar affect my kidneys?
When your body processes sugar, it ends up in your bloodstream. Your kidneys then filter this blood. If your blood sugar levels are high, your kidneys have to work harder to remove the excess sugar. Over time, this excessive workload can damage the nephrons, leading to kidney disease and increasing the risk of proteinuria.
That sounds serious. Should I cut out sugar completely?
Not necessarily completely, but reducing sugar intake is a healthy choice for most people, especially if you're at risk for kidney issues. Try to minimize consumption of added sugars found in sodas, desserts, and processed foods. Opting for natural sugars like those in fruits in moderation is a better alternative.
And what about artificial sweeteners?
Artificial sweeteners can be a useful tool for reducing your overall sugar intake, but it's best to use them judiciously. Some studies suggest that excessive use might not be beneficial for your health either. As with most things, moderation is key. Focusing on a balanced diet with plenty of whole foods is the best way to manage sugar intake.
Got it, Dr. Mike. I'll definitely start paying more attention to my sugar consumption and try to make some healthier choices in my diet.
That's a great decision, Sarah. Making these changes can significantly impact your kidney health and overall well-being. Lastly, let's discuss the impact of salt or sodium on your kidneys. How would you rate your salt intake, Sarah?
I think it might be quite high. I often add extra salt to my meals and eat a lot of snacks that are high in sodium.
High sodium intake is quite common and something to be cautious about, especially in regards to kidney health. Sodium plays a crucial role in maintaining fluid balance in your body. However, too much salt can lead to increased blood pressure, which is a significant risk factor for kidney damage.
How does salt specifically affect the kidneys?
Your kidneys regulate the sodium balance in your body. When you consume a lot of salt, your kidneys have to work harder to filter out the excess sodium, which can increase blood pressure and in turn put extra strain on your kidneys. Over time, this can impair kidney function and increase proteinuria.
So what should I do to manage my salt intake?
It's important to read labels to check for sodium content in packaged foods, which are often high in salt. Cooking more meals at home can help you control how much salt you use. Also, using herbs and spices instead of salt can enhance the flavor of food without increasing your sodium intake.
That sounds manageable. I can start making those changes.
Absolutely, and it's not just about cutting back on salt. Ensuring a well-rounded diet that includes fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and adequate hydration is also crucial for kidney health and overall wellness.
Thank you, Dr. Mike. This discussion has really opened my eyes to how these foods affect my kidneys. I'll start making these changes and monitor my diet more closely.
You're welcome, Sarah. I'm glad to hear you're motivated to make these changes. Remember, gradual adjustments are often more sustainable. If you have any questions as you go, or need further guidance, don't hesitate to consult a healthcare provider.
Will do. Thanks again for all the helpful information.
You're very welcome. Take care, Sarah.